Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into Game 20 of the Rocky Mountain League season. It is the A's and Denver Cougars in the final game of the four-game series. And let me tell you this, Cavalier is a wonder of a drain after over 4 inches of rain that didn't even stop until about noon today. Yes, we are still playing baseball. Cavalier drains very, very well, and we are able to play baseball here tonight. The rain subsided by just shortly after noon. The field has dried up decently, and we're ready to go. We're going to play baseball. The A's fell in last night's game 17-3 and are looking to bounce back and take the series here tonight. They currently lead the series 2-1 against these Denver Cougars. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineups. Leading off for the Cougars, second baseman, number 2, Ashton Wolf. Batting second, the shortstop, number 4, Michael Naftanel. Batting third, the designated hitter, number 9, Owen Smith. Batting cleanup, the first baseman, number 16, Jackson Snitko. Batting fifth, the left fielder, number 8, Carter Olick. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 18, Jackson Nutter. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 13, Max Slavin. Batting eighth, the third baseman, number 7, Eli Anthanabis. And rounding out the lineup is the center fielder, number 17, Dominic Gusti. Kayak Wildcat getting the start on the mound for the Denver Cougars today. The starting lineup for the Dodge City A's looks like this. Batting first, the second baseman, number 25, Shannon Martin. Batting second, the center fielder, number 2, Grant Weisermans. Batting third, the designated hitter tonight, 28, Tyler McAvoy. Batting cleanup, the left fielder, number 7, Nate Murphy. Batting fifth, shortstop, number 15, Carson Johnson. Batting sixth, the catcher, number 4, Dominic Roberts. Batting seventh, the third baseman, number 30, Bo Dalian. Batting eighth, the first baseman, number 8, batting eighth, the first baseman, number 24, C.D. Sharples. Rounding out the lineup, the right fielder, number 16, Isaiah Velasco. Jake Vassell getting the start on the mound tonight for your Dodge City A's. And that is the starting lineup. So the defensive alignment for the A's, left to right in the outfield, Nate Murphy, Grant Weisermans, and Isaiah Velasco. Third to first across the infield, Bo Dalian, Carson Johnson, Shannon Martin, and C.D. Sharples. Dominic Roberts behind the plate and Jake Vassell on the mound for your A's. So as we get ready to go, we'll take a step aside, come back with first pitch after the national anthem. We'll be back after this. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Jake Vassell gets the start on the mound tonight for your Dodge City A's. Let's take a look at his starting numbers as we get set to go. Jake Vassell on the roster is 6'2", 200, played at Lake Erie, finished his sophomore campaign, comes from Bainbridge, Ohio. Jake Vassell comes in today a 1-1 record overall for him. Last pitched against the Derby Twins, went 4 innings in that. That was back on June the 22nd. Jake Vassell, 9 2/3 innings pitched so far on this season. Has struck out 8, allowed 11 hits and 11 runs, and walked 8. So we are set to go. The first pitch thrown down to Ashton Wolf, a swinging strike. Down in the count, 0-1 is Wolf. Jake Vassell with a 9.31 ERA coming into tonight's action. That pitch in for strike number 2. Down in the count, 0-2 is Wolf. Wolf led off for the Denver Cougars last night. Grounded out in his first time up, but would come around in the same inning in the top of the first and draw a walk right after that. 1-2 the count now. That pitch swung on and missed, and down on strikes goes Wolf. The first out of the inning for the Denver Cougars. .76 and cloudy in Dodge City currently. Feels like 76 as well. The humidity's 82%. But like I said, after almost over 4 inches of rain earlier today, not sure what happened there. So a single has Michael Naftanel on at first, and the first pitch in to Owen Smith in for ball number 1. .1-0 count coming from Jake Vassell. Takes a look over at first. The pitch misses outside. 2-0 the count now on Smith. 2-0 pitch right down the middle. That freezes Smith, and count moves to 2-1. .3-1 the count now on Owen Smith after that pitch missed low. The 3-1 delivery, chopped, fielded by the shortstop Carson Johnson. Throw to first in time, and that will be the second out of the inning. That moves Naftanel over to second. In steps Jackson Snitko. Snitko in last night's game scored a run and had 2 hits and drove in 3, walked once, and struck out once. Down in the count, 0-1 is Snitko after the strike from Jake Vassell. The A's tonight with white pants. They're white tops. As Snitko fouls that one off the end of the bat. So the A's new white tops have the Dodge City A's logo on the front in yellow, outlined in green. Green and yellow stripes on their sleeves. And then their number outlined in green on the back. One and two, the count on Snitko. The Denver Cougars tonight, white pants with black stripe. Primarily black top. They have a white stripe, or actually a gray stripe, underneath the sleeve that runs down their side, bordered by a white stripe. White numerals and letters on a black jersey. So 2-2 count on Snitko. Driven right back at the shortstop, Carson Johnson. He'll bobble it, so an error on the A's as the Cougars strike first. In steps Carter Olick. Olick has played in the outfield and pitched and been all over the place for the Denver Cougars. Takes the first pitch he sees for ball number one. Olick drives that one at the shortstop, Johnson. They'll go to second for the force out, and that will end the inning as we head to the bottom of the first. It will be Shannon Martin, Grant Weisermans, and Tyler McAvoy due up when we return. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Shannon Martin set to lead off as we head into the bottom of the first. The A's trailing 1-0. Shannon Martin, the 5'10", 185, played his sophomore season at Texas Southern. So Shannon Martin steps in to get his first at bat against Wildcat for the Denver Cougars. Takes the first pitch he sees and fouls it off down in the count 0-1. Oh, pitch. Misses for ball one. A 1-1 count now on Shannon Martin. Wildcat working from the first base side of the rubber. Delivers outside and low for ball number 2. Two-one delivery. Shannon Martin takes it, gives it a ride out towards left field. It'll be played off the wall. Martin digging for 2. The throw in, not in time, and Shannon in safely with a double. So that'll bring in Grant Weisermans. Grant Weiserman, 5'9", 175, played his freshman season at Westmont, comes from Marietta, California. Takes the first pitch he sees for strike number 1. The 0-1 delivery coming from Mr. Wildcat. Takes a look back at second. Fires in, and a strike on the outer half. Gets Weisermans down in the count 0-2. Grant Weisermans has been having a heck of a season. Leads the team in a couple of statistical categories. The 0-2 pitch coming to Weisermans. Another long look back at second. That pitch, curve missing high. One and two the count to Weisermans. One on and nobody out for the Dodge City A's. The pitch inside, and the count evens itself at 2 apiece. Defensive alignment for the Denver Cougars. From left to right in the outfield, Oleg, Gusti, and Slavin. Third to first across the infield, Athenbus, Naftanel, Wolf, and Snitko. Wildcat on the mound, Nutter the battery behind home plate. So Wildcat will look Martin back to second. Weiserman sends that one, a golf swing out up high, headed out into center field, but pulled down by the center fielder Gusti. It will move Martin over to third. A sacrifice fly to move Martin over just 90 feet away from tying this game. In steps Tyler McAvoy. McAvoy, 6'1", 210, a catcher from Westmont College. Played his freshman season, comes from Fontana, California. Steps in for his first at bat of the ball game and watches one inside for ball number 1. Wildcat with 10 pitches already in the ball game. That pitch misses for ball number 2. T-Mac will foul that one off. Count moves to 2-1. The A's lead the series over the Denver Cougars 2-1. They won the first game that was played in Denver back on June the 17th, won that one 10-6. The A's with 10 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors in that ball game versus the Cougars 6 runs on 8 hits and an error. Cole Airhorn got the win in that game. Then on the 28th, the A's also won, beating the Cougars 13-7. And it was an offensive explosion. The A's with 22 hits in that ball game. The count runs full. Payoff pitch coming from Wildcat. Misses low, and that'll put runners on the corners. One away for the Dodge City A's, and the tying run just 90 feet away. Nate Murphy steps in. Nate Murphy, 5'11", 185, played his freshman campaign at Northeast Oklahoma this past year. Calls Bigsby, Oklahoma home. First pitch coming to Murphy. Popped and sent foul back over the press box. Count moves 0-1. The A's will complete the series here tonight against the Denver Cougars. Then we'll play 2 games against the Liberal BJs. One at home in Dodge City on the 3rd, and then we'll make the trip to Liberal for the 4th of July. As that pitch was swung on and missed. Down in the count, 0-2 is Murphy. 0-2 delivery coming from Wildcat. Slow roller up the middle, fielded by the second baseman Wolf. Throw to first in time. That'll score a run and moves McAvoy over to second. An RBI ground out for Nate Murphy. In steps Carson Johnson. Johnson, 5'10", 180, played at UT Permian Basin, just finished his junior campaign there. Comes from Carl Junction, Missouri. Johnson with his first at bat, the 5-hole hitter tonight for the Dodge City A's. As that pitch, a little bit wild and outside, blocked by the catcher Nutter to not allow advancement of the runner McAvoy. All tied up here in Dodge City, 1 run apiece. One-0 delivery was popped high, called for by the first baseman, and it will drop, but drops foul. Second life for Carson Johnson after that miscue by the first baseman Snitko. 1-1 delivery coming from Kayak Wildcat. Johnson will take that one. It's headed out into center field, so rather than a foul ball, he takes it and sends it out into center for an RBI single. In steps Dominic Roberts. Roberts, 5'9", 190, played for Lake Erie, finished his sophomore campaign. Comes from Powell, Ohio. Roberts, the 6th batter to come to the plate in the inning for the Dodge City A's as the A's lead 2-1. First pitch outside, bounces away from the catcher, and that will allow Johnson, he makes a big turn around second, but holds up, so just 1 base on the wild pitch. 1-0 count now to Dominic Roberts. Johnson getting a lead off of second. Roberts swings, comes up empty, and that'll even the count at 1 apiece. So we talked about games 1 and 2 of the series. Game 3 of the series was played last night. And a game that saw the A's issue 11 free bases over the course of the game, and would also see the A's fall 17-3 against these Denver Cougars. Pitch was fouled off. Roberts down in the count 1-2. We're in the bottom of the first. The A's lead 2-1. Time called by Roberts, and he'll get it. He wants to step out of the box. Wildcat already 24 pitches in the ball game, 14 for strikes. That pitch misses low and will even the count at 2 apiece. Deuces wild across the top of the scoreboard for Dominic Roberts. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Carson Johnson on at second. Johnson getting his lead. He'll go. It'll be swung on and missed. That'll end the ball game as Roberts comes up empty and will go down on strikes. We're headed to the top of the second. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Top of the second as Jackson Netter steps out to face Jake Vassell. He's back on the mound for his second inning of work. So Jake Vassell has made appearance against the Derby Twins, the Hayes Larks, that one back on June the 11th, and the Colorado Rough Riders, where he went just an inning and 2/3 in that game back on June the 8th. The first pitch into Nutter for ball number 1. Vassell working quickly, gets Nutter to swing and offer up, but comes up empty. Count will even itself at 1 apiece. Despite the rain, a decent crowd on hand for some Sunday night baseball. Nutter takes that when it's headed out into left center field, and it will fall against the wall. Nutter's digging for 2, and he'll be in with a stand-up double. So after getting a new baseball, we will go back to work. Nobody out, one on for the Denver Cougars. Max Slavin steps in. Slavin did not play last night in the offensive explosion for the Cougars, but he did play back on June the 28th. That pitch swung on and missed. 1-1 count. One delivery coming from Jake Vassell as it comes inside and misses for ball number 2. That pitch is fouled off, and the count evens itself at 1 apiece. Slavin fouls that one off. The count remains 2-2. That pitch paints the zone and freezes Slavin for out number 1. Eli Athenbus steps in. That pitch gets away from Roberts and will move Nutter over to third. Two-0 count to Athenbus. So the Cougars will return home after this, and they will play the Pioneers in a 2-game series on July 2nd and 3rd. That pitch gets Athenbus to offer up and comes up empty. The count moves to 2-2. Count runs full after Jake Vassell misses low with that one. Payoff pitch coming to Athenbus. Just missing off the outer edge, and that puts runners on the corners with 1 away. Dominic Gusti steps in for the Denver Cougars. 1 out, 2 on. Gusti sends that one. It's a line drive out into left field, taken by Nate Murphy, and out number 2. Back at the top of the order with Ashton Wolf. Wolf went down swinging his last time up. He'll take the first pitch from Jake Vassell, low and away for ball number 1. So takes a look over at first, and that will be sent to the third baseman, Dalian, fielded by Martin at second for the force out, and that will end the inning as the Cougars strand 2 and come up empty. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Kayak Wildcat returns to the mound for the Denver Cougars. Bo Dalian steps up for his first at bat of the ball game. Dalian 6'4", 205, played at Iowa Lakes Community College, finished his freshman campaign, comes from Wichita, Kansas. Kansas guy on the team. Dalian has not played in the last 2 games, but did play against the Cougars back on June the 17th as he takes a bender inside for ball 1. Dalian in that game had 1 run, 2 walks, and struck out once. 1-0 delivery. Dalian takes it and sends it into the gap, out into left field for a leadoff single. Runner aboard for the Dodge City A's. And in steps C.D. Sharples. C.D., 6', 220, played at Northwest Nazarene, finished his sophomore campaign. Comes from Post Falls, Idaho. So CD in the game on the 28th. 1 run on 2 hits. That pitch misses for ball number 1. The 1-0 offered up does Sharples, but nothing doing. Evens a count at 1 apiece. We've worked our way into the bottom of the second. The A's lead 2-1. 2 runs on 3 hits and an error for the A's. 1 run on 2 hits and no errors so far for the Denver Cougars as Sharples fouls that one off, and the count moves to 1-2. 1-2 pitch from Wildcat. Fired in, and Sharples comes up empty and will go down on strikes. 1 away for the Dodge City A's, and in steps Isaiah Velasco. Velasco out in right field tonight for the Dodge City A's. 6 foot 180, played his junior campaign at Cal Berkeley this last year. Comes from Sylmar, California. So Velasco will be hit by pitch on the first pitch that he sees, and that will put 2 on with 1 away and turns the lineup over to Shannon Martin. Martin doubled his last time up. Martin batting .293 on the season, coming into tonight's contest for the Dodge City A's. Wildcat looks back at second. The first pitch missing outside and low for ball 1. One 0 delivery coming up. Misses high to make it 2 balls, no strikes, 1 away for the Dodge City A's. Dalian at second, Velasco at first. The pitch, again missing outside, and the count runs to 3-0. Wildcat just 1 pitch away from walking the bases loaded. The 3-0 delivery as Wildcat comes set. Takes a long look back at second. He'll deliver inside strike on the inner half. Count moves to 3-1. (3-1) delivered. Misses high, and that will load the bases for the Dodge City A's with 1 away. We'll have a mound visit from the Denver Cougars coach, as that will bring up Grant Weisermans. Weisermans hit into a sac fly his last time up. The A's scored 2 in the bottom of the first. So during this mound visit, we're going to take this opportunity to thank some of our sponsors, the Grand Slam sponsors for the Dodge City A's, the City of Dodge City and Ford County, Community Foundation of Southwest Kansas, Lewis Automotive Group, and Curbs Law Office LLC. We thank all of our sponsors for their support of Dodge City A's baseball. There is a person starting to stretch and get moving outside the gate for the Denver Cougars. Matt Sapikoff, it looks like, working outside the gate as that pitch is popped foul, and it will fall right in front of the press box. Down in the count, 0-1. (0-1) delivery. Up the third base line, but says foul. Weisermans down in the count, 0-2. Grant Weisermans, by the way, batting .449 on the season. That is one of the statistical categories that Grant Weisermans leads this team in. The 0-2 pitch coming to Weisermans. A high bender delivered inside, and the count moves to 1-2. Daly in at third, Velasco at second, Martin at first for the Dodge City A's. The 1-2 delivery now low, and the count evens itself at 2 apiece. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away for the Dodge City A's. The 2-2 delivery coming up from Wildcat. Inside, and I'm not sure you could slid more than a couple of pieces of paper between that ball and Mr. Weiserman's chest. Nonetheless, the count runs full. The payoff pitch. Wildcat working from the first base side of the rubber. Oh, it does actually hit Weiserman's on that one. It'll plunk him in the helmet. He'll take his base. The run scores, and the bases remain loaded. Netter's going to go out and have a quick conversation with Wildcat. So we work to reset things and go back to work. The bases still loaded, and in steps Tyler McAvoy. McAvoy drew the walk his last time up. The A's lead this game 3-1. That pitch misses high to McAvoy. Tyler batting .286 on the season for the Dodge City A's. McAvoy drives out when it's a high fly ball headed down the right field line. Does it stay fair? No. Ball landed just past the bullpen for the Denver Cougars. A long strike, number 1. Wildcat with 46 pitches has evened himself at 23 balls and 23 strikes. 1-1 pitch coming to McAvoy. Called on the outside edge, and McAvoy's now down in the count 1-2. McAvoy grounds out one, 8 up by the shortstop. 1 run scores. Unfortunately, that's just an odd error. Nate Murphy now at the plate with the bases still loaded, 1 away. 2 runs have scored as the A's lead 4-1. Murphy grounded out his last time up. Nate Murphy batting .241 on the season for the A's as that pitch misses as well, and the count moves to 2-0. The A's have worked the bases loaded and kept them loaded. Murphy takes a strike on the outside edge, and count moves to 2-1. Four runs in so far for the Dodge City A's. Murphy fouls that one back into the netting to even the count at 2 apiece. All that stopped that one from coming into the stands was the upper guide wire on the net. Two delivery from Wildcat. Off the end of the bat, Murphy fouls it off, and the count will remain 2-2. So kids, if you can hear any of that noise, the kids, if they go and retrieve a foul ball here at Cavalier, they can return it and get $1 at the concession stand. Murphy fouls that one back into the net, and the count stands at 2-2. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming to Nate Murphy. Murphy already with the ground out, and RBI ground out at that. Back in the bottom of the first. The A's working their second trip through the batting order here in the bottom of the second inning. That one's grounded to the shortstop, and they'll go to second for one. The throw to first in time. The twin killing ends the inning for the Dodge City A's. And they will only get 2 runs out of it as we head to the top of the third. The A's leading 4-1. You've been listening to Dodge City A's baseball. Into the top of the third we go. Michael Naftanel leading off for the Denver Cougars. He singled his last time up. Takes first pitch from Jake Vassell for strike. Actually, ball number 1. That pitch called strike. Line drive right back at Carson Johnson will be out number 1. Owen Smith takes strike number 1. Down in the count, 0-1. That one misses to even the count at 1 apiece. Smith fouls that one off. Down in the count, 1-2. 2-2 pitch coming up from Vassell. Misses low, and the count runs full. A payoff pitch. Jake Vassell standing on the third base side of the rubber. Swung on and missed, and that will be out number 2. In steps Jackson Snitko. Snitko got on an error his last time up. 2 away for the Denver Cougars with nobody on. First pitch, low and blocked by Roberts for ball 1. Pitch is called, strike on the inner half. Counts 1-1. Two 2-1 count on Snitko. He'll take that one. Backpedaling is Sharples. He'll take it in fair territory for out number 3. The Cougars go down 1, 2, 3, and it will be 5, 6, and 7. Johnson, Roberts, and Dalian due up when we return. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Thank our home run sponsors, I Don't Care Family Restaurant and Sports Bar, Parker Haskins Insurance Incorporated, Rabine Brothers Law Firm, Victory Electric Cooperative Association, Jimmy John's, and Farm County Farm Bureau Association. We thank you for your sponsorship and support of Dodge City A's Baseball. So Kayak Wildcat going out for his now third inning of work, has 55 pitches in the ball game, has thrown 30 of them, 4 strikes. There is work down in the bullpen for the Denver Cougars. So I would think that if Wildcat got into any trouble at all, that a pitching change would be on the horizon. Carson Johnson due up for the Dodge City A's. He singled his last time up. Johnson's batting .290 on the season for the A's. At pitch, popped up and caught by the catcher Nutter for out number 1. So in steps Dominic Roberts. Roberts struck out swinging his last time up. That pitch is swung on and missed. Roberts down in the count, 0-1. Dominic Roberts batting .281 on the season. At pitch, a little worm burner as it came in down in the turf. Evens a count at 1 apiece. 1-1 pitch from Wildcat. Sent foul, and the count moves to 1-2. A's leading over the Denver Cougars. We've worked our way into the bottom of the third. A's lead it 4-1. That pitch comes in. It will hit Roberts in the back of the helmet. So a runner aboard for the Dodge City A's. In steps Bo Dalian. Dalian is batting .233 on the season. And here comes the mound visit from the Denver Cougars coach. Will we see a pitching change? That is yet to be seen. Yes, we will. So the Cougars make the call to the bullpen. And if it's who I think it is, it will be Matthew Sapikoff taking over the mound for the Denver Cougars. Indeed it is, and we'll take a step aside while he gets his warm-up pitches in. We'll be back after this. You have been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Matthew Sapikoff takes over the mound for the Denver Cougars. The night for Kayak Wildcat is done. He'll go 2 1/3 innings. Faces 15 batters, allowing 4 runs, but we cannot close the book as Dominic Roberts on the base paths right now will be charged to Wildcat if he comes in to score. Struck out 2, walked 2, and allowed 3 hits. He also hit 3 batters as well. So that is the night for Kayak Wildcat as Bo Dalian steps in, takes his first pitch, pops it up, and fielded by the shortstop Naftanel for out number 2. In steps C.D. Sharple. Sharple's struck out swinging his last time up. Throw over to first, not in time. Sharple's batting .259 on the season. Bo Dalian was batting .233 coming into tonight's contest. Throw over to first again. It'll get away. It's down into the bullpen. There goes Roberts. He's rounding second, digging for 3. The throw over will be not even close. So Roberts will go first to third on the E1. Two errors in the ball game so far for the Denver Cougars. And another run now just 90 feet away for the A's. 2 out as Sharple set for the first pitch as it misses outside for ball number 1. The 1-0 pitch outside again. Count moves to 2-0. Sapikoff works from the first base side of the rubber. Misses outside again. A 3-0 count on C.D. Sharples. The 3-0 catches the outer part of the zone. 3-1 count now to Sharples. Sapikoff has not pitched against the Dodge City A's in this series. 3-1 delivery. Sharples takes it, sends it out into center field, and that will easily score Roberts a stand-up RBI single for C.D. Sharples. So the A's now lead it 5-1. They have scored in every inning so far in this ball game. Isaiah Velasco steps in for the Dodge City A's. Velasco was hit by pitch his last time up. Isaiah Velasco batting 179 on the season for the A's. So he steps in with 2 outs and a runner on at first. Sharples gets a lead, and the pitch misses outside for ball 1. Sapikoff has been attacking away, but has been missing outside. That pitch comes inside, gets Velasco to offer up, and comes up empty. The count evens at 1 apiece. Dakota Young is saying, be calm. 1-1 delivery coming from Sapikoff. This is high. Count moves to 2-1. Wind blowing from right to left across the field. It's a 2-1 delivery. Inside and fouled off by Velasco, and the count evens itself at 2 apiece. Deuces wild across the top of the scoreboard as Velasco takes a step out. Deep breath, and will step back in. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Velasco will go down on strikes, and that will end the inning, but the A's score 1. They lead it 5-1. We're headed to the top of the 4th. You've been listening to Dodge City A's baseball. Jake Vassell out for his 4th inning of work for the Dodge City A's. He is set to face 5, 6, and 7 for the Denver Cougars. Carter Olick steps in, hit into a fielder's choice his last time up. First pitch on the outside edge has Olick down in the count 0-1. 0-1 delivery, swung on, coming up empty is Olick. Down in the count, 0-2. 0-2 pitch from Vassell. Misses outside, 1-2. Jake gets the ball back and comes set quickly. The 1-2 delivery down in the turf. Count evens itself at 2 apiece. Two balls, 2 strikes on Carter Olick. That pitch is fouled off and the count remains at 2-2. Vassell missed low with that one. And the count runs full. We'll have a payoff pitch. Vassell delivers inside for a walk. Leadoff runner aboard for the Denver Cougars. This is the second inning that the Cougars have gotten their leadoff aboard. In steps Jackson Nutter. Nutter doubled his last time up. Nutter swung on and missed. He'll be down in the count, 0-1. Vassell got ahead early on Olick, but ultimately ended up issuing the walk. There goes Olick, the throw down to second. Not in time as Olick gets around the tag. 1-1 count on Nutter. One delivery. Olick dancing around out at second. That one cut off by Carson Johnson. The throw to first. Wild to the outfield side. Infield hit for Nutter. So the first pitch to Max Slavin misses outside for ball number 1. Slavin got caught looking his last time up as Roberts wants to go out and have a conversation with his pitcher, Jake Vassell. Vassell has now thrown 59 pitches in this ball game. 32 have been in 4 strikes. The A's have nobody in the bullpen at this point. So we will go back to work with the 1 ball, no strikes count to Max Slavin. Vassell delivers, and it is fouled off, goes back over the press box to even the count at 1 apiece. The 1-1 delivery coming from Jake Vassell. Misses inside. Count moves to 2-1. Throw down to third. Not in time as the count moves to 3-1. Nobody out for the Cougars. Runners on the corners. And a 3-1 count to Slavin is now full count as that one was fouled off into the net. payoff pitch. Vassell comes set. Takes a long look over at first. And it is delivered. A ground ball to third. The throw to second for one. They go to first. They get it. The Twin killing. But it will score a run. Now 2 away for the Denver Cougars. Eli Thonbus steps in. He walked on his last time up, fouls the first pitch off. Down in the count, 0-1. The A's still lead at 5-2. That pitch called strike has a Thonbus down in the count, 0-2. Vassell misses outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes on a Thonbus. That one misses low and evens a count at 2 apiece. Deuces wild across the top of the scoreboard, and Vassell misses low again. Another payoff pitch coming. Vassell now at 69 pitches. So he'll lose that battle and walks Thonbus on. Garrett Martin getting warm up with the plyo balls outside the A's dugout. In steps Dominic Gusti. 1 on, 2 away for the Denver Cougars. We talked about it last night. The walk's a bit of an issue for the Dodge City A's as that pitch has popped up, called off by Carson Johnson behind the third base bag, and that will end the inning. The Cougars score 1 and strand 1. We are headed into the bottom of the 4th. Back at the top of the order, Martin, Weisermans, and McAvoy due up when we return. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Shannon Martin leading off for the Dodge City A's. Takes ball 1 inside. Martin a double and a walk so far in this ball game. Pitch called strike off the outer edge to even the count at 1 apiece. Shannon Martin with 7 extra base hits on the season for the Dodge City A's. 1-1 delivery, a shot down the right field line that drops just foul. That will have Martin down in the count 1-2. So 1-2 pitch coming up from Matthew Sapikoff, who has 14 pitches already in this ball game. So he came in relief from Kayak Wildcat in the last inning. Martin fouls that one off, and the count will remain 1-2. The A's have scored 2 runs in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the third. The Cougars scored 1 in the first and 1 in the top of the fourth. We're in the bottom of the fourth. Shannon Martin in the leadoff spot again as that pitch misses outside. Count evens itself at 2 apiece. Martin calls time and steps out. He wants to take a swing. He'll step back in. Martin pops that one up. It's high up the elevator chute. Backtracking is Naftanel into left field for out number 1. In steps Grant Weisermans. Weisermans yet to record an official at bat, a sac fly and a hit by pitch for him so far in the ball game. Weisermans, 14 extra base hits on the season so far, as pitch missing inside. 1-0 delivery now from Sapikoff. Kicks and fires. Gets a strike on the outer half to even the count at 1 apiece. Weiserman set for the 1-1 delivery that misses outside and low. Count moves to 2-1. Weisermans takes that one. It's a hard ball hit down the left field side, bounces off the wall. Weiserman's digging for 2, and he'll have it. Another extra bases hit on the season as he's in safely with the double. In steps Tyler McAvoy. McAvoy's 0 for 1, a walk and an error for him. McAvoy with 4 extra bases hits on the season. Weisermans gets his lead off a second. The first pitch down in the turf for ball number 1. Blocked by Nutter. The 1-0 pitch. Sapikoff looks back at second. McAvoy comes up empty on his offering, and that will even the count at 1 apiece. McAvoy takes that one and drops it out into right field. So that will put runners on the corners, a single for Tyler McAvoy. So back-to-back hits have put runners on the corners with 1 away. In steps Nate Murphy. Murphy's 0 for 2. He has grounded out both times he's been at the plate. Nate Murphy has 5 extra base hits on the season so far, as he steps in to face Matthew Sapikoff. Cleanup hitter for the Dodge City A's takes the first pitch inside for strike 1. An 0-1 delivery. Misses high and inside and evens a count at 1. A's lead 5-2 as we've worked our way into the bottom of the fourth. This pitch misses outside there, and the count moves to 2-1. The A's were on the outside looking in last year as they were left out of an NBC bid, but these Denver Cougars did. They have been to the NBC the last 2 years and would knock out another fellow Colorado team as the pitch hit to the third baseman, throw to second for 1. The fielder's choice as Nate Murphy beats it out. Carson Johnson in, and a wild pitch that gets away from the catcher Nutter will score a run as the A's have scored in all 4 innings now. Nate Murphy now at second. 1-0 pitch inside, and it's now 2-0. Nutter goes out to have a conversation with Sapikoff as the A's, with 2 out and 1 on, and lead this one 6-2. 6 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Dodge City A's, 2 runs on 3 hits, 2 errors for the Denver Cougars. 2-0 delivery from Sapikoff. Misses outside again. This pitching staff better appreciate their catcher Nutter tonight. The 3-0 pitch. Inside, it's a 4-pitch walk that'll put runners on first and second with 2 away. Dominic Roberts steps in. He is 0 for 1, was hit by pitch his last time up. By the way, I think we forgot to mention it. Carson Johnson with 2 extra base hits. Dominic Roberts stepping in. He has 2 on the season. First pitch, Roberts swings and misses, comes up empty. Down in the count, 0-1. Sapikoff has already thrown 33 pitches, 17 in 4 strikes. The 0-1 delivery coming on the upper edge of the zone for strike number 2. No balls, 2 strikes on Roberts. Misses outside. Count moves to 1-2. There is a pitcher down in the Cougars bullpen doing soft tosses. The 1-2 delivery swung on and missed by Roberts. A pitch outside that would have been ball 2. That will end the inning as the A's strand 2 but score 1. They lead at 6-2. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Ashton Wolf, as the Cougars turn the lineup over, start their third trip through the batting order. Out to face Jake Vassell, out for his now 5th inning of work, his longest outing so far for the Dodge City A's. Wolf fouls it off. Wolf also 0 for 2 as that pitch in for strike number 2. So Wolf is 0 for 2 and down in the count 0 and 2. He struck out swinging and hit into a fielder's choice. Wolf comes up empty, strikes out for his 2nd time in the ball game, and 1 away for the Cougars. In steps Michael Naftanel. Naftanel hit into a line drive his last time up. Drove it right back at the shortstop, Carson Johnson. Vassell delivers low for ball number 1. 1-0 delivery. Work begins down in the A's bullpen. Pitch misses outside, and it's now 2-0. 3-0 count to Naftanel, and I say that there's work down the bullpen, but they're just throwing a football. And a 4-pitch walk drawn by Naftanel. In steps Owen Smith. He struck out swinging his last time up. Believe it's Garrett Martin down in the bullpen. He's along with Frank Tinoco. One out and one on for the Denver Cougars. We've worked our way into the top of the 5th as that one's popped up. Giving chase is Velasco, has it out in right field for out number 2. Jackson Snitko, he's 0 for 2, flew out his last time up. Snitko will foul that pitch off. He's down 0-1. Jake Vassell has thrown 80 pitches. 43 have been in 4 strikes. Pitch swung on and missed. Down in the count 0-2 is Snitko. Pitch gets Snitko looking. He's frozen, and that will end the inning. And we are headed to the bottom of the 5th. It will be 7, 8, and 9. Dalian, Sharples, and Velasco due up when we return. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Take this opportunity to thank more of our sponsors: Service Master Rapid Response, Dodge City Kenworth, Cargill Meat Solutions, Tommy's Express Car Wash, Dodge City YMCA, and EDF Renewables. We thank you for your sponsorship and support of Dodge City A's baseball. Bo Dalian set to lead off for the Dodge City A's as he's out to face Matthew Sapikoff. Takes pitch inside for ball number 1. Bo is 1 for 2 in the ball game, flew out his last time up. Bo Dalian, no extra base hits on the season so far. He'll swing and miss on that one. Evens a count at 1 apiece. A's lead the Denver Cougars in Game 4 of the series, 6-2. They also lead the series 2-1 as that's chopped, fielded by Sapikoff. They'll throw to first 4-1 and 1 away for the Dodge City A's. In steps C.D. Sharples. He's 1 for 2, singled his last time up. C.D. also no extra base hits on the season. Takes first pitch low for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch outside makes it 2-0. So the A's are in Game 4 of the series with these Denver Cougars, the final game of league play between the A's and Cougars. The A's have completed series against the Game Day Angels, where they split that series and also fell 3-1 in the series against the Colorado Rough Riders. 2-0 pitch, get 3-0. And Sharples will draw a 4-pitch walk. In steps Isaiah Velasco. Velasco struck out swinging his last time up. He's 0 for 1 in the ball game. A hit by pitch and a strikeout. His night at the plate so far. He enters with 4 extra base hits for the Dodge City A's. Shannon Martin standing in the on-deck circle for the A's. 1 out, 1 on. The first pitch to Velasco, high and outside for ball 1. Sapikoff delivers down low. The count moves to 2-0. Pitch is called strike. Velasco in the count at 2-1. The 2-2 delivery. Sapikoff takes a look over at first. The pitch misses outside and the count runs full. So as we take a look around the league, the Larks and BJs in a tie for first, both teams at 13-2. The A's come in third at 7-7, followed by the Rough Riders at 7-8. Then the Foxes at 7-9, the Game Day Angels at 7-9, the Pioneers at 6-11, and the Denver Cougars 3-14 in league play. Your A's 8-11 overall on the season. Another payoff pitch coming from Sapikoff. Misses outside, and that'll put runners on first and second. So last night the A's fell 17-3 against the Cougars. The Hayes Larks beating the Fort Collins Foxes in a doubleheader 17-9 in the first game and 9-8 in the second game. And the Rough Riders beating the Pioneers 7-4. Those games all taking place yesterday in the Rocky Mountain League. In steps Shandon Martin. He's 1 for 2, flew out his last time up. 2 on and 1 away is that pitch blocked by Nutter and does not allow advancing of the runners. Games in action today, the Rough Riders and Pioneers, as the U.S. Military War Dogs take on the Fort Collins Foxes, and of course your A's and Denver. That pitch high and inside plunks Shandon Martin on the helmet, and that will load the bases. Here comes the coach for the Denver Cougars. We're going to have a mound visit and likely a pitching change. Augustin Sanchez making his way in. And it will be a pitching change for the Denver Cougars. Sanchez will take over the mound. We'll tell you about it after this. We're going to take a step aside. You have been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Augustin Sanchez takes over the mound for the Denver Cougars. He has pitched against the Dodge City A's, pitched in the game against the A's back on the 17th. That game was played at Metro State University. Sanchez went 1 inning, allowing 1 hit, striking out 1. He also got the start on the 28th. He went 3 innings in that ball game, allowing 11 hits, 8 runs. All 8 of them were earned. Walked 2 and had 1 home run. So that is the stats against the Dodge City A's for Augustin Sanchez, as Grant Weisermans steps in. He gets ball number 1. And the count runs to 2-0 with bases loaded and only 1 away. Pitch gets away but does not allow advancement of the runners, and the count runs to 3-0. Weisermans will take the strike to move the count to 2-1. Sorry, 3-1. Weisermans with 35 hits on the season as he takes one, drives it out to center field. Tagging up is Sharples. Actually, all runners are tagging up, and they will advance. The RBI flyout by Grant Weisermans knots another run. The A's now lead at 7-2. Tyler McAvoy steps in, takes the first pitch he sees for strike number 1. The A's lead this one 7-2 as they have scored in every half inning so far. McAvoy sends that one up the elevator chute, called off by the first baseman Snitko. He'll take it in fair territory, and that will end this inning. The A's lead 7-2. We're headed to the top of the sixth. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Carter Olick leading off for the Denver Cougars in the top of the sixth. Takes the first pitch from Jake Vassell out for his now sixth inning of work for ball number one. Vassell with 83 pitches on the ball game now. 45 in 4 strikes as that one misses and makes it the 84th pitch of the ball game. 2-0 count on Carter Olick. He checks his swing and takes a strike anyway. Olick 0 for 1, walked on his last time up. The 2-1 pitch coming from Vassell misses outside and makes it 3-1. 3-1 delivery is fouled off and the count runs full. Payoff pitch. Driven to the second baseman, Shannon Martin, who hauls it in for out number 1. Martin with good athleticism to get to it, pull it in. One away for the Cougars. In steps Jackson Nutter. Nutter's 2 for 2 in the ball game. A double and a single, and the pitch in for strike number 1. Fastball right down the zone had Nutter down 0-1. That one's low. Blocked well by Roberts to even the count at 1 apiece. Nutter sends that one out to center field, ranging in as Weiserman's, but it'll drop for a hit. 1 on and 1 away for the Cougars. In steps Max Slavin. Slavin's 0 for 2. Grounded out his last time up. First pitch in to Slavin for ball number 1. The 1-0 delivery is low. Throw down to first, not in time. A 2-0 count on Slavin. 1 on, 1 away for the Denver Cougars. Worked our way into the top of the sixth. The A's leading this one 7-2. It's a high fly ball, and it is caught by Grant Weisermans for out number 2. Weiserman's on his high horse, able to pull it down as Nutter holds up at first. 2 away for the Thunbus. He does not have an official at-bat in this ball game as he has walked on both times he's been at the plate. There's his official at-bat as he sends that one through the gap out into shallow left field for a single. Runners at first and second for the Denver Cougars with 2 away. And in steps Dominic Gusti. Gusti is 0 for 2, flew out his last time up. Has the Denver Cougars completing their 3rd trip through the batting order. First pitch in to Gusti for strike number 1. The 0-1 misses low. It makes it 1-1. Roberts comes up, ready to make a throw down to second, but nothing doing. Count even at 1 apiece. Roberts goes out to have a quick conversation with Vassell, delivers the ball. We'll go back to work. Jake Vassell approaching the 100 pitch mark in this ball game. It's at 97 so far, 53 for strikes. Pitch is outside, and the count moves to 2-1. Pitch is fouled off, evens the count at 2 apiece. 100th pitch for Jake Vassell coming up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Deuces wild across the top of the scoreboard. That pitch is fouled off by Gusti, and he'll remain in the count at 2-2. Vassell has reached the 100 pitch mark with that foul. Gusti sends that one to third, and Dalian will field it himself to step on the third base bag, and that will end the inning as the Cougars strand 2, and the A's lead it 7-2. The ketchup, hot dog, and mustard race. Mustard prevails yet again. And if memory serves me correct, the mustard now leads the series 6-4 over hot dog and 2 for Ketchup. So we'll take this opportunity to thank some more of our sponsors, Clark D. Stewart and Fergon Financial LLC and Conant Construction. We thank you for your sponsorship and support of Dodge City A's baseball. Nate Murphy set to lead it off for the Dodge City A's. Murphy steps in. He's 0 for 3 in the ball game. Hit into a fielder's choice his last time up. Nate Murphy with 14 hits on the season so far for the Dodge City A's. Sends that one foul up the third base line for strike number 1. An 0-1 delivery coming up to Murphy. That pitch misses outside and will even the count at 1 apiece. The 1-1 pitch, Murphy sends it foul and out of play to fall down in the count 1-2. Sanchez, with his 3rd appearance now against the Dodge City A's, has already thrown 10 pitches in relief after coming in relief of Matthew Sapikoff. Murphy fouls that one off again, and the count will remain 1-2. Murphy makes contact, grounds it to the shortstop, Naftanel. The throw to first in time, and that will be out number 1. In steps Carson Johnson. Johnson's 1 for 2. He walked on his last time up. Carson Johnson with 18 hits on the season for the Dodge City A's. A 7-6 ball game as we've worked our way into the bottom of the 6th. No on, 1 out. Johnson takes the pitch on the outside half for strike number 1. That one's sent up the third base side and over the head of the diving third baseman. Carson Johnson in safely with the double. Dominic Roberts set to step in for the Dodge City A's. A runner in scoring position with 1 away. Roberts 0 for 2. Struck out swinging his last time up. Dominic Roberts with 9 hits on the season for the A's. Sanchez set, working from the third base side of the rubber. Delivers inside for ball number 1. Roberts fouls that one off. Count will even itself at 1 apiece. Runner goes, and a swing as the ball gets past the third baseman, and now the throw home offline, and that will score a run. So, an throwing error by the catcher, and a 1-2 count. Roberts will go down on strikes as he clips that one. And in steps Bo Dalian. Dalian is 1 for 3, and the A's have continued their scoring ways, have scored in every half inning. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and so far 6th innings so far. That pitch in for strike number 1 to Dalian, who flew out his last time up. O'Dalian with 7 hits on the season, fouls that one off and falls down in the count 0-2. That'll send a few kids running for the foul ball. They can go get $1 from the concession stand. Pitch freezes Dalian on the outside edge, and that will end the inning. As the A's score another one, lead at 8-2. We're headed to the top of the 7th. 1, 2, and 3 due up for the Cougars. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. So Garrett Martin takes over the mound for the Dodge City A's. Garrett Martin on the mound now, and he will face the top of the order for the Denver Cougars. Garrett Martin with a 2-1 record overall. Garrett Martin comes into today having pitched 17 innings, allowing 14 runs on a 6.35 ERA. He has walked 13 and struck out 11. Is the numbers for Garrett Martin as he takes over to face the top of the order against the Denver Cougars. Garrett Martin pitched back on the 28th, went 1 inning in that game, allowed 2 hits in that one. He also pitched back on the 17th, going 1 inning, 1 run on 1 hit, and struck out 1 in that one. So the 3rd appearance for Garrett against the Denver Cougars as Ashton Wolf steps in. He is 0 for 3, has struck out twice in the ball game. Martin working from the 3rd base side of the rubber, fires outside for ball number 1. The 1-0 delivery is down low for 2 balls and no strikes to the leadoff in the top of the 7th. Grounded to the shortstop Johnson, throw to first. Sharples stretches out for that one, and out number 1. In steps Michael Naftanel. He is 1 for 2 in the ball game. He walked on his last time up. Naftanel takes the first pitch from Martin on the outside edge, down in the count 0-1. Cut off by Johnson. It'll be a single for Naftanel to put a runner on with one away. In steps Owen Smith. Smith is 0 for 3 in the ball game. He flew out last time he was at the plate. First pitch to Owen Smith. Misses high outside for ball one. Counts even at 1 apiece. That pitch is fouled off and has Smith down in the count 1-2 now. So Jake Vassell goes 6 innings for the Dodge City A's, allowing just 2 runs on 101 pitches, striking out 5 and walking 4. Had 5 hits as well. Smith will go down on strikes as he comes up empty on a healthy swing. And in steps Jackson Snitko. Snitko's 0 for 3 in this ball game. Got caught looking his last time up. Pitch is down low for ball one. Right back at the pitcher, Martin. They'll throw to first for the out. That will end the inning as the Cougars strand one. We're headed into the bottom of the 7th. It's stretch time in Dodge. C.D. Sharple set to lead off for the Dodge City A's. He's 1 for 2, walked on his last time up. Sanchez back out on the mound for the Denver Cougars. The first pitch delivered for ball number 1. Sharples sends that one. It's headed out into center field. Temporarily lost by Gusti, but pulled down for out number 1. So Sharples comes into tonight. He had 7 hits on the season, and here comes Isaiah Velasco. Velasco's 0 for 1, walked on his last time up. Isaiah with 7 hits on the season for the Dodge City A's. First pitch, Velasco sends it out. It's out into right center field. A diving play. Has Velasco for out number 2. Again, another one of those situations where there was absolutely no call made by the umpires. I don't know why. So 2 away for the Dodge City A's as they turn the lineup over to Shannon Martin, who is 1 for 2. Martin was hit by pitch his last time up. Takes first pitch outside for ball number 1. Shannon Martin with 15 runs scored on the season for the Dodge City A's. That pitch fouled off, evens a count at 1 apiece. Sanchez now at 26 pitches in the ball game, 19 in 4 strikes. 1-1 delivery, fouled off, and has Martin down in the count 1-2. Nobody on and 2 away for the A's. They lead 8-2. Martin comes up empty, and the A's go down 1-2-3. They're held off the scoreboard for the first time in this ball game. We're headed to the top of the 8th. The A's lead at 8-2. In steps Carter Olick as Garrett Martin returns to the mound for the Dodge City A's. Olick 0 for 2. Hit into a line drive his last time up. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Cougars in this inning. So we've worked our way to the top of the 8th. Garrett Martin with 12 pitches, 11. That pitch misses high, and the count runs to 2-0. A's leading 8-2. 2 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors for the Denver Cougars. They have stranded 8. 8 runs, 7 hits, an error, and 8 stranded for the Dodge City A's. That pitch called strike. Count moves to 2-1. Pitch in, gets away from the catcher Roberts. Olick sends that one. It's down the right side, fielded by Shannon Martin out in the outfield grass for out number 2. Out number 1. I was ahead of myself. In steps Jackson Nutter. Nutter is a perfect 3 for 3 in the ball game, 2 singles and a double. And he'll be a perfect 4 for 4 now, as that one drops in the outfield for a single. One on and one away as the Cougars go to the dugout for a courtesy runner. Aiden Linehan will be the runner for Nutter. Slavin takes that one, drives it out into left field, and it'll drop in for a double. Garrett Martin wanted to open the gates plate, and that has been done as the Cougars, with back-to-back hits, put 2 runners on second and third with only 1 away. In steps Eli Anthonbus, takes the first pitch for strike number 1. Martin with his 9th appearance. Correction, 8th appearance. The count evens at 1 apiece. And Athenbez comes up empty on that one. Now down in the count 1-2. Pitched against the Cougars on the 28th, going an inning. 2 innings against the Game Day Angels on the 26th. His longest outing, 5 innings against the Western Nebraska Pioneers, coming back on June the 14th. 2-2 misses high, and the count runs full. Payoff pitch coming from Garrett Martin as he comes set on the third base side of the rubber. Payoff delivered, swung on, comes up empty, and out number 2. So Athenbus will go back to the dugout, down on strikes, and in steps Dominic Gusti. Gusti is 0 for 3. Hit into a fielder's choice his last time up. First pitch and a snap throw down to third. Rolls away from Dalian, and that'll score a run. So an error on the Dodge City A's catcher. We'll go back to work, a 1-0 count on Gusti. That pitch misses low, and the count moves to 2-0. A's lead this one 8-3. That pitch is fouled off, and Gusti now in the count at 2-1. 2-1 delivery coming from Martin. Runner on third, 2 away, 1 run in for the Denver Cougars. Steve sends that one cut off by the shortstop. Nothing doing. Another run scores. And the Cougars have now scored 2. The A's lead at 8-4. Back at the top of the order for the Cougars, it is Ashton Wolf. Wolf is 0 for 4. A snap throw over to first, not in time. "27 pitches in the ball game for Garrett Martin. Pitch misses low to Wolf. 1-0 count. Wolf grounded out his last time up. 2 strikeouts, a fielder's choice, and a ground out the night at the plate for Ashton Wolf. That pitch misses high for ball number 2. Denver Cougars scored 1 in the first, 1 in the fourth, and now so far 2 in the 8th. And 2 away. Runner on at first with Dominic Gusti. The 2-0 delivery catches the inner half of the zone for strike number 1. Seven strikeouts issued in this game by the A's pitching staff. 2-1 delivery as the runner goes is a ball, throw down to second, not in time, and the count moves to 3-1. The Denver Cougars doing everything they can to try to make this game interesting in the latter innings. Gusti goes again, and another throwing error. Count runs full, but the throwing error by Dominic Roberts scored another run. The Cougars have brought 3 in this inning. The payoff pitch misses high, and that'll put a runner on. Here comes pitching coach Chris Isaac as things starting to unravel a little bit for the Dodge City A's, especially on the mound behind Garrett Martin. But not all of it. Some of it, the errors committed by the Dodge City A's. 3 errors, 2 of them here in recent innings, both throwing errors by the catcher Roberts. So we will see this mound visit broken up as the home plate umpire goes out. We'll go to work. Michael Naftanall at the plate now for the Denver Cougars, 2 for 3, singled his last time up. Naftanall, the 7th batter to come to the plate this inning for the Cougars. They have plated 3. Throw over to first was not in time. Martin set. Runner goes, and it's popped up. High up the elevator chute, tracking it is Sharples. It falls in, and they will go to second for the out, and that will end the inning. Grant Weiserman's in to lead off in the bottom of the 8th for the Dodge City A's, leading this game 8-5. Weiserman's 1 for 2, flew out his last time up. Weiserman's with 35 hits on the season, has scored 16 runs as that pitch is fouled off. Two the count to Weiserman's. The A's cling to an 8-5 lead. The Denver Cougars will be down to their final 3 outs when we go into the top of the next inning. Grounded to the shortstop, throw to first in time for out number 1. The A's will go to the bullpen, bring in a pinch hitter with Ryan Buckley. Buckley will step in. He played in the game a high fly ball, but it's headed to left field right at the left fielder Olick for out number 2. 2 down for the Dodge City A's as Nate Murphy steps in. 0 for 4 has grounded out. The 3 of the 4 times he's been at the plate. First pitch popped up. It's headed out into left center field, and it will drop in right center for a hit. So that'll bring in Carson Johnson, who is 2 for 3. Johnson doubled his last time up. By the way, Nate Murphy has scored 7 runs in the ball game. Johnson takes the first pitch for ball number 1. Carson Johnson, on the other hand, has scored 12 so far this season for the Dodge City A's. Pitch low in the zone, evens a count at 1 apiece. The 1-1 pitch. Up the middle, they'll go to second for the force out, and that will end the inning. We're headed to the top of the 9th. The Cougars down to their final 3 outs, as it will be 3, 4, and 5 due up when we return. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. Thanks some more of our sponsors: Village Square Mall, First Dental, ITC Great Plains, LLC, Callie Hendricks DDS, Kirby Meat, Best Water of Southwest Kansas, Danny Thomas, and Wendy Barnett. We thank you for your sponsorship and support of Dodge City A's Baseball. Garrett Martin returning to the mound, making his 3rd inning in relief of Jake Vassell. He's faced 11 batters so far and given up 3 runs. Owen Smith set to lead off for the Denver Cougars. The A's lead it 8-5. Owen Smith 0 for 4. Struck out swinging his last time up. Martin starts Smith off with a swinging strike, down in the count 0-1. 0-1 delivery, chopped to the second baseman Martin, throw to first in time for out number 1. In steps Jackson Snitko. Snitko is 0 for 4, grounded out his last time up. That pitch down low is blocked by Roberts. 1-0 count on Snitko. Cougars down to their final 2 outs. They have to score at least 3 to extend this ball game and send us to the bottom of the 9th. Fly ball. Weiserman's out in center tracking it. He's got it, and out number 2. Down to their final strike, or final out, is the Denver Cougars, and in steps Carter Olick. Olick 0 for 3, flew out his last time up. The A's, with a win tonight, will win the series over the Denver Cougars and would improve to 8-7 overall in league play, as that pitch misses outside for ball number 1. 1-0 pitch from Martin. Fired in, down low for ball number 2. Roberts taking a beating behind home plate tonight. The 2-0 pitch. Misses inside, and the count runs to 3-0. Garrett Martin delivers a 4-pitch walk, puts a runner on with 2 away, and in steps the thorn in the side of the A's in the catcher, Jackson Nutter. Nutter 4 for 4, 3 singles and a double in the ball game. So Nutter, the only batter in the lineup that has not been retired. That pitch falls again, and that one rolls up against the wall. The throw home will not be in time. As the Cougars score another run, but Nutter will be thrown out at second. That will end the ball game. The A's win it 8-6. We're going to take a step aside. We'll come back with our wrap-up and final game numbers. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball. The A's are victorious in Game 4 of this series against the Denver Cougars as they win it 8-6. Jake Vassell getting the win and Kayak Wildcat taking the loss for the Denver Cougars. Take a look back at your final game numbers. The A's 8 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors. They strand 9. And the Denver Cougars 6 runs on 11 hits. They commit 3 errors and strand 9 as well. The night at the plate for the A's got started early. As Shannon Martin would lead off in the first inning with a double, and he would come around and score on an RBI single from Carson Johnson. Tyler McAvoy would draw an early innings walk, and he would be driven in. Actually, I stand corrected. Shannon Martin was brought in on the RBI ground out by Nate Murphy, and it was the RBI single from Carson Johnson that scored Tyler McAvoy to give the A's a 2-run lead, or a 2-1 lead at the time. The A's would continue their scoring ways as Bo Dalian would lead off with a single in the bottom of the second, followed up by an Isaiah Velasco hit by pitch. Dalian would be driven in on a hit by pitch, and then an error on Grant Weiserman's, and then Tyler McAvoy with an error would drive in Isaiah Velasco. The A's continued their scoring ways in the third as Dominic Roberts was hit by pitch, and then he would be driven in on an RBI single from C.D. Sharples. Continuing on into the fourth, Grant Weiserman's would get a double, followed up by a Tyler McAvoy single, Nate Murphy fielder's choice that would put runners on the corners, and then that would also score Grant Weiserman's. Then in the bottom of the fifth, the A's would get C.D. Sharples on via the walk, followed by an Isaiah Velasco walk and a Shannon Martin hit by pitch. Grant Weiserman's would hit into a sac fly in center field that would score C.D. Sharples. And then the A's would get another run in the bottom of the sixth after Carson Johnson would get on with the double, and then would score on a throwing error by the catcher. That would give the A's their 8 runs, but the Denver Cougars would give the A's a scare as they would score 3 in the top of the 8th to make it an 8-5 ball game, and then they would tack on another in the 9th to make it 8-6. The A's take the series over the Denver Cougars. They improve to 8-7 overall in league play, and also improve to 9-11 overall in the season. I am Justin Hergert, was alongside with Paxton Compton operating the live stream tonight, saying farewell and good night from Cavalier Field as the A's win this one. They are back in action on June the 3rd, another league game, as they will host the Liberal BJs, 7 p.m. right here at Cavalier Field. We'll see you then. You've been listening to Dodge City A's Baseball.